Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about things that people say that can be hurtful or that we don't like and wish there were other ways to say it. So don't get me wrong with this. Some people like myself usually don't get offended about these things, but after talking to the community, a lot of these are commonly said and do bother patients. So here we go. My number one, my personally one that I don't like is when people say so and so lost the battle to cancer. Can we say something else? Please just stop calling us losers. I understand that when you talk about being a warrior and fighting battles, the opposing end is losing and, not being a winner. So I understand where that comes from. But other things we can say is or are so and so has passed away, so and so has died, so and so has left this world, so and so has gone to heaven, whatever else you want to say. We just go through so much, so many trials and challenges, and fight really hard to stay here and be here. And the word losers just kind of, it doesn't ring the right bell. Another thing people have said, granted, this is something that is often said before we know we have cancer or a major illness, but people say, I wish I have what you have because I lost 60 pounds rapidly. And in this society, being skinny apparently is what everybody thinks is beautiful. So I was obviously very sick. I was very pale. I was wasting away. I couldn't eat anymore. I was forced into anorexia because food hurt and I couldn't process it. So it was strange to me that people thought that my really discolored skin looked beautiful and people wish they had what I had just because I lost weight. There is a difference between losing weight on purpose, earning that weight loss, versus when it's being taken from you. It hurt really bad. Everything hurt. My bones hurt. People couldn't touch me. And why was I that skinny? Because I had cancer. I had tumors that were squishing everything over and starving me to death. I was starving to death. So when you say those kind of things, just think about it, really look at people. Do they look healthy? Is that really something to say? I wish I had what you have when somebody is sick just because they've lost weight. I just wish people would not say that one. Another thing that people say, and this comes usually from people that love you so much, is if I could go through this for you, I would. I would not wish this on anyone ever. I would not want anyone that I love to be going through this. And I know that's just something that people say. They don't want to see you suffering, but this is what I'm going through. I don't want you to go through it. That's not healthy to eat. I know people that are constantly being judged by their diets, especially people with appendix cancer. We often lose our right colon for lymph node testing, and I personally lost that. I also lost 1/3 of my small bowel plus a sphincter or two. It's funny saying that word. I always think of Beavis and Butthead. But I cannot eat the way that people think is healthy. I just can't process that. It makes me very sick. Fruits and vegetables often cause bowel blockages. That is one of the number one killers for patients like I. So I cannot eat that way. And many of us on chemo we have to eat what we can to get through it. Our oncologists have debunked that theory that cancer cells feed off of sugar. And so for a point there, I literally ate only Oreos for a very long time to get through chemo. Oreos, candy, Dairy Queen, Blizzards. That's what got me through chemo. You are expected to keep your weight stable when you're on chemo. And especially after surgeries, you lose weight rapidly. You have to get calories in and you have to eat things that aren't going to make you completely miserable. So, what else is there? When people repeatedly ask, "Are you okay?" or "How are you?" over and over again, but they are not interested in hearing how you really feel. Everybody just asks this because it's something we say, but nobody really wants to hear how you're doing. So, I just wouldn't ask that unless you really want to hear the answer and you got time to hear it. Have you tried this magic pill or concoction or fruit? It cures cancer. No. If there was a cure for cancer, we would know it. Believe me. We spend a lot of time in the support groups, people talking, wondering what causes cancer, how to cure it, what options there are. We don't know of anything that will cure cancer right now. For appendix cancer, we do HIPEC, CRS and HIPEC, a major surgery, and for many, that is a cure. I've already done that, and the cancer is back. So we are all very different, but we do what we can to find that cure. But it's not in a magic pill that you have for sale. If we know that you sell something and we want to try it, we'll ask you. People have often said it couldn't hurt to try this. Yeah, it can hurt. I cannot process supplements, so for me to try something, it usually just makes me very sick, goes right through me, and I'm miserable. So yeah, it can hurt. We usually have specialists on our team and doctors and oncologists that can help us help decide if supplements or certain things are safe for us to try. People say, "I know how you feel." You don't, unless you have gone through it. I lost my uncle and my stepdad. They were both very young. They died within 11 days of each other from cancer. And I always thought I knew how they felt. I did not know how they felt until I was diagnosed with cancer. It's just something that completely changes you. Grieving for your own life, especially at a young age, it's really difficult to go through. You think you know what it's like, you think you understand it, but you don't until you are grieving for your own life when you are not expecting to possibly be dying this soon. Maybe you got cancer because, excuse me, I worked out, I counted every calorie, I bought organics, I ate green smoothies with no fruit, I avoided sugar, I had the occasional pizza and soda, but I really worked out very hard and tried everything to avoid getting cancer. After the deaths in my family, I still got cancer, and I am one of the most healthy people in my family, so everybody's blown away that it happened to me. It can happen to anybody at any time. It's nothing that I did that we're aware of. It's nothing, we don't know what causes cancer. So I know this is said when people are trying to find the cause of why someone like me got cancer, but at the same time, without realizing it, you're putting the blame on the patient. And it doesn't offend me, really, but it does. This statement, "maybe you got cancer because," does offend a lot of people, really upsets them. And some people that say it really do mean it, that they're blaming the patient. Things that people do that bother us. We're often treated like we're already dead or dying. So, like for one instance, I had a friend, I'm not going to say exactly what was said to her because if she shares this, it will be obvious who I'm calling out. And I don't want to hurt specific people, but she went into surgery and somebody said something really terrible to her in a text message, and they're thinking it sounds good, but it doesn't. They basically treated her like she was going to die, and they were basically saying goodbye. So when you are talking to a patient, just maybe, I mean, I know it's just hard to find something to say. Something as simple as thinking of you, quick, swift recovery, something like that, that's not going to be too crazy or weird is best. But there's so much hope. We are trying every day to find a cure with appendix cancer. I know somebody who's 27 years out from original diagnosis. I know people that are 14 years out. There are so many that are out there with no evidence of disease. There's always hope. So don't treat us like we're dead, please. We are still here. Imagine how you would feel if you were in our position and somebody said these things to you. Another thing, when people ask us about our prognosis, even the doctors, even my specialist told me he doesn't know. We don't know. And so that's what I really appreciated from my specialist, because I had to go consult with somebody within our network. And without me asking her, she gave me a poor prognosis and told me I would be dead in 3 years. I did not ask for that. And my specialist just told me, we don't know. I never asked him, but he told me we don't know how long, you could live a normal life. You could be cured. That's always the intent, but we don't know. So everybody's different. So when you ask us what our prognosis is, we can't really answer that. And here's one of my biggest things. I don't like that. I don't like when doctors tell you that, especially when you haven't asked for it, because we don't know. And for me, it seems like a lot of people, when they are told that, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where in your mind you have this time frame and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to die in this many years. And sometimes I get that way just because that one doctor told me that. So I have to remember she didn't know as much as my specialist, and I have technically fired that doctor. I will never see her again. I have fired another doctor who said something to me that I didn't like. I don't want anybody working with me on my life that doesn't have any faith at all. So everybody that I'm working with now, they really like dealing with me because I usually am very positive. I usually have a good outlook for myself and my future, and I do not pretend like I'm dying. I have moments, of course. I give myself time to feel that way, and then I move on. I am going to online appliance repair school. I have so many plans for my future. I just keep going. You have to do that. So if you're a patient and you've been told that you're going to live so long, you need to try to retrain your brain, and don't let that bring you down. You have to keep going. You have to keep moving. So acceptable things to say. Excuse my language, but sometimes the most acceptable thing to say is fuck. When somebody tells you something and you don't know what to say, and that's what you're thinking, for me, it's okay to say that. Another thing is, I don't know what to say. That's great. Usually those two things have been the best things that my friends have said to me, and they think that those were the worst things they could have said, but I really appreciated that. It's honest, and it's not going crazy saying something weird. So, and other things to say that are great are just simply thinking of you. I am here if you need me. What do you need from me? What can I do, or how can I help? I'll be thinking of you, praying for you, sending positive thoughts out for you. Those are the best things to say if you're not sure. If you're really close to somebody, like really, really close, like a sister, a parent, usually what you say isn't going to be too offensive because we know you. But just try to keep in mind, do considerate speaking when you're talking to us, texting us, emailing us, whatever, because sometimes people just say some crazy stuff. If you want me to talk about anything specific, let me know. If you have a question, let me know. Thanks. Bye.